Welcome back to the Pokemon Black No Experience run, where we are nearing the end. Last time we explored Challenger's Cave, which honestly wasn't very eventful. This time, we are going to take on one last battle before the Pokemon League, and then take care of all of our preparations for said Pokemon League. First, have to heal up, just, making sure. Just to get some PP back and stuff like that, and then I'm going to have to put a team together, because now this next battle is going to be considerably lower level than the ones we've been facing so far. In fact, about 10 levels lower, actually. Their highest is level 67, so quite a bit of a step down from what we've actually had before, and because of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually rearrange my team and get rid of Cheren and Volcarona and just make a team of levels no higher than the 60s. That way I feel it will be sort of more fair. See, theoretically I could totally sweep this guy with Volcarona and Cheren, but, that'd be a bit too easy. So, I'm going to go back and, maybe, let some new members have a chance to shine, like Lizard here. Carmine Recover is interesting. She just needs some actual attacking moves. If you got to look at her moveset there, you'd realise, well, she can't actually do anything at all. And bring Iron Man back, because why not? He was pretty awesome while we had him. Now, I could go for Lazy Shell one more time, just to try and get that power trick off, maybe. But this looks like an interesting enough team. Let's just see. Definitely got a Flyer here. Whirlwind should still be fine. Lazy Shell. And I need some TMs to teach Lizard some stuff because, yeah, she doesn't have any attacking moves whatsoever. Now, if I was smart, I would have taken off the Smoke Ball off of Iron Man, because that's totally useless in trainer battles. But let's see what TMs we have here. Psychic is either Psychic or Psyshock is definitely a given. I may want to go for Psychic here just for the extra power. Psyshock is usually more useful competitively, but here I'm probably going to just want more power. So, yeah, either that or Psyshock. Stupid move interface. They keep changing the whole move interface, like how many times you have to say no and what you have to say no to. They keep changing it every generation. It's just so confusing. But anyway, what the heck, I'm going to go for Psychic and Shadow Ball. Why not? Take out of the Psychic types. Probably is not going to be all that useful, but because I doubt I'll be using her in the Elite Four. But Carmine Recover sounds like a pretty cool strategy, so might want to go with that. As for other TMs, at this point I was wondering whether I actually had every TM in the game except for the viable ones. I probably have most of the TMs that you can find on the field, with the exception of Snarl, and Snarl you actually can't get in this one. It was only in Black and White 2. You were supposed to be able to get Snarl through an event, but they never released that event, so Snarl is coded into the game, but you can never actually obtain it legitimately. Kind of interesting, that. But let's just go over here, because in order to activate this next battle, we have to see someone right here. Cheren's here, and let's talk to him for some awesome music. I'm pretty sure that's the last time we'll ever hear that music in this playthrough, so I decided it would be insensitive to talk over it. But, as he said, he's waiting for us at the Pokemon League, well, at Victory Road. So, fortunately, it's right at the very end of Victory Road, the place that you can fly to from the Pokemon League itself, so it's not actually that hard to get there. If we go down here and enter this cave right here, we will see Cheren, and we can go talk to him for our battle. So, just rearranging my team a little bit, I actually did have one failed attempt here, and I learned the hard way I should not have a certain Pokemon of mine leading, so I'm going to go ahead and switch Whirlwind into the lead position. This is going to help for a strategy that I've got in mind. And so we just go up here and talk to Cheren. So, Cheren has basically faced his shadow. That's a little bit of a worrying thought, because that means he's probably gained superpowers, and, well, that could be bad. He might as well have, because he's actually pretty tough here. And suddenly Marshall. This is kind of very fitting here, because we're going to battle Marshall pretty soon in the Pokemon League. Why did that sound like an Old Spice ad? And again, this fits perfectly because that's exactly where I'm going to be going next. But first, one last battle. Let's do this, Cheren, one last time before I learn to utterly loathe you in the second game due to the fact that you are going to be almost impossible to beat no experience as the first gym leader. Oh, I'm really not looking forward to that. But anyway, he leads with his Leopard. Now, funny thing here, this Leopard is pretty much exactly the same as every other Leopard we've fought so far. As in the post-game. It's going to lead with Fake Out, and then it's going to just start spamming Night Slash. So it really doesn't matter what move I choose on the first turn, because I'm getting Fake Out anyway. But on the second turn, I want to go for... I'm going to go for a substitute here. It is faster, so it's going to take me around there. Perfect, I have enough health for a substitute. And now I'm going to Cotton Guard as this sub breaks. What? I have no idea why I would go for Shadow Claw, because Shadow Claw and Night Slash are essentially exactly the same move. But for you, Night Slash gets stabbed, so Night Slash is actually much better. They only have very, very minor differences in their type coverage, but for the most part, both moves are essentially the same. There is honestly no point to using Shadow Claw on a Dark type. But the problem with Shadow Claw and Night Slash is they have high critical hit ratio. And that makes this setup, this strategy of setting up Cotton Guard and then setting up Dragon Dances kind of annoying, as it means that an unlucky crit could spoil the strategy. But I am faster after that Dragon Dance, which means I can get the substitute up before they attack as a crit buffer, which is incredibly useful, because provided my substitute survives a hit, I then get another free stat boost, and this essentially keeps going. So this is the strategy that I've wanted to pull off with Whirlwind for a long, long time. I think I tried this on Morimoto and it sort of failed miserably. But as long as we're fast with the Dragon Dancers, we can get these substitutes up as crit buffers before... yeah, essentially before they can get their Night Slashes in and critical hit me into oblivion, ignoring my Cotton Guard. But setting up a few more of these because I want to be sure that I one-hit KO certain things that he uses later. Now, I'm not going to completely sweep Cheren with this, I feel that'd be too cheap. I'm just going to take out his most annoying Pokemon. Now, I'm going to heal here, but if he gets a critical hit, this could be bad. Oh, he's going for Night Slash. You see, there's only a certain amount of time you can... And of course, that was a crit, yeah. You can only dodge crits for so long. Now, fortunately, a crit doesn't actually KO me, which is very, very good here. Which means this strategy actually works a lot better here than it does... yeah. Just to say something, this is a strategy that I read about on a certain walkthrough of the game. In fact, the walkthrough on Maryland's website, maryland.com. This walkthrough was suggested for Elite Four Grimsley. And the thing is... you'll be seeing later, but it doesn't actually work so well there, I find. But anyway, Yep, Cheren's gone to his M-Bore now, and I really want to get a good hit on it before it does something, because... Okay, a few things. Firstly, this M-Bore has a focus sash, so you actually can't KO it in one hit. Cheren's starter will always have a focus sash. Secondly, this M-Bore hits hard. You saw it did that much, that's even after a cotton guard. Head Smash, Wild Charge, and Flare Blitz. They are all incredibly powerful moves. This M-Bore is absolutely brutal, so I'm glad that I took this thing out. Believe me, you'll see it on the Fail channel. Now, this Haxorus is also really brutal because it has Dragon Gem Outrage. Yes, that's right, Cheren's entire team has items, and a lot of them are quite good. I wanted to take this thing down in one hit because if I don't, that Dragon Gem Outrage is going to be painful. Gigalith here has Sturdy, so like M-Bore, it can't be taken out in one hit. It's also very brutally powerful, having a pretty strong Earthquake, Stone Edge, and I forget what its other move that it has. But Earthquake and Stone Edge are pretty much enough to give it nearly perfect coverage. Thankfully, Stone Edge missed there on the switch. It wouldn't have done that much anyway, but let's go for a Meteor Mash and hope we can get maybe an attack boost out of this. Again, we can't actually knock this thing out in one shot. We were going to anyway. Stealth Rock. Okay, that could be bad if I ever want to switch Whirlwind in later. Yes, also his Gigalith has leftovers. But I'm going to finish it with Earthquake because I know that's guaranteed to hit. Meteor Mash, I'm just not going to run the risk of it missing. Bye-bye, Gigalith. Next is Simisage. Simisage has virtually nothing that it can do to Metagross. Pretty much nothing. Simisage is kind of a mixed attacker. It does hold a Mystic... what's it called again? The seed thing. I've completely forgotten the name of it, but the item that powers up Grass-type moves. Miracle Seed, that's it. Still not... Well, it's doing a fair bit, but not all that much. So now Simisage is going to go down. And let's see what's next. Unfezant. Now, this thing is kind of annoying. It has Super Luck, a Scope Lens, and Air Cutter. Yes, the very same strategy that I tried out on Berg ages ago and never got a single critical with. For the AI, though, they'll probably get quite a few criticals out of this. It also has U-Turn, but since it's Cheren's last Pokemon, that's not really going to do much. Now, I went ahead and Thunder Waved it here. I didn't actually know that it had a certain move at the time. Now, learn from my mistake. Don't use Thunder Wave on this thing. In fact, don't status it at all. You're going to see why in just a few seconds. I'm going to switch out, and I think it's going to use it. Unfortunately, Bones only takes neutral damage from U-Turn. Doesn't take neutral from Stealth Rock, annoyingly. But it still doesn't do very much. But something that is going to do a lot is what's coming. Okay, I'm faster than an Unfezant? Really? Really? Wow, that Unfezant is sad. Facade. Yep, that is why I didn't... yeah, at that time I was like, holy crap, I shouldn't have paralyzed him. Oh, and of course I'm faster because it's paralyzed, derp. But anyway, I should not have paralyzed this Unfezant. I mean, it is getting these times where it can't move, but... I should not have paralyzed it because Facade is painful. Stab Facade off the status condition. Definitely painful. Ouch. Yeah, so for those of you watching this, yeah, don't status Cheren's Unfezant. It's not going to end well. Let's see if I can get Lizard in on this and go for a Psychic, provided that I don't get one hit KO'd by, yeah, Facade. Okay, I hit first. Come on, Psychic, do your thing. And, oh, yes! Now, I was annoyed about the prospect of a full restore here. Turns out he didn't use one. Interesting. So, goodbye Unfezant, and goodbye Cheren. We have defeated our last opponent before the Elite Four. So, yeah, that wasn't so bad, but it is kind of a difficult battle. And so, character developments. See, that's what I like about Gen 5. The rivals actually, you know, have actual development. Probably the first rival since the Gen 2 rival to have actual character development, but anyway, and he basically just says the same thing. Now, I'm pretty sure this battle is one time only as well, so yeah. yeah, once you've fought him once here, I don't think you ever get to do it again. He isn't rematchable, annoyingly. But this black screen can only mean one thing. I already said this before, but I did have one failed take against Cheren, and from here you'll see just how brutal his team can be. Cheren is definitely not one to underestimate, especially since he has some pretty smart item choices on his whole team. So, without further ado, I bring you the Fail Channel! What you're going to see here is my first attempt at fighting Cheren. Now, this came... well, I'm not going to spoil it. But basically... okay, let's see how things went in the beginning. I'm pretty sure that I led with a different Pokemon. He will always lead with Leopard, by the way. Just like Game Freak Morimoto. And Iron Man. Okay, that's good because I do double resist most of its moves. So this is kind of a good option. Of course, here I realized to my stupidity, I still have False Swipe. I should definitely have taught something else, because that was really dumb, and of course... and so they go for the Fake Out first, and Aerial Ace. That is, strangely enough... funnily enough, that's actually the most effective move this Leopard has against me, because Shadow Claw and... oh yeah, it has a Citrus Berry as well. You didn't see that last time. Yeah, because Shadow Claw and Night Slash both are double not very effective. They'd only be singly not very effective in Gen 6, but this was Gen 5 when Steel was resistant to Ghost and Dark. So, this should... oh... and I'm just going to finish it with this, just... I don't know why, just to save PP. So I'll just take this Leopard out. And what's he going to send in next? So, okay, I expect him to go into Emboar. I think he's probably going to want to Brick Break me. This Super Sage is a mixed attacker, I'm pretty sure, and it's almost certainly going to have Brick Break, so I'm going to go switch out here. Because Brick Break would be very, very painful, hitting a double weakness and all, and of course he goes for Brick Break, exactly as I predicted. Yeah, Bones is such a great tank. I love Mandibuzz here. Probably one of the most surprising Pokemon of my post-game run. Oh, and he has Rock Slide. Yeah, this thing has surprisingly good coverage, as I found out to my cost, and of course he flinches me. So, like I said, Cheren is definitely not one to take lightly. He has some very good coverage on most of his Pokemon, pretty decent movesets, and decent item choices. Rocks, oh, and good Rock Slide misses there, so I can go for an Agility, see if I can outspeed the rest of his team if I take this out. Like in the main run, Metagross pretty much makes a total mockery of this Super Sage. There isn't very much they can actually do. I mean, Brick Break is neutral. Don't even know why it kept going for Energy Ball last time. Payback. Okay, that would be super effective in Gen 6, but hey, this isn't Gen 6. Critical hit and a Rock Slide flinch. This Super Sage is getting some pretty serious hacks on me. How much will this do? Probably won't faint it. Only just. Oh well. And I will probably need to heal, because that came very close. This thing's being kind of random with what moves it's using, actually, but I guess Energy Ball plus the Miracle Seed plus Snap might be quite a lot of damage. And Airborne. Now this is pretty bad, because I can't Earthquake this thing, but it's going to take me out right after, and I'm going to predict the Earthquake and switch out to a Flying type. I mean, not Earthquake, I mean a Fire move or something, because Brick Break. Okay, I was expecting Flare Blitz, but I resist this anyway. See how powerful Emboar is? Even a resisted move did that much, and I'm getting head smashed. This thing's surprisingly fast as well. Well, at least you're going to take severe recoil damage from that, but ouch. Here is where I find out that this Emboar is a pain. Now I'm going to go for a Psychic type in here. Unfortunately, it hits me first with Flare Blitz. This could end very badly. If this Emboar had Reckless, it would be even more brutal, seeing as 3 of its... holy crap! And there, yes, this moment made me seriously wish this battle had not ended in failure. That was amazing. 1 hit point. Wow, that was incredible. Okay, Lazard does deserve honors for that. Even though this wasn't a successful run, she gets honors for that. Now, Surf, that's kind of weird. For some reason, this Haxorus has Surf, and I've already lost half my HP. I'm definitely not going to be able to pull off Power Trick. Sorry, Lazy Shell, you were kind of useless. Completely. And you're about to see Dragon Gem Outrage. This probably would have one-shotted me if I had full health. But good thing he used up his Dragon Gem on something that was going to faint anyway. Time to go into Metagross, and seriously hope this thing does not have Earthquake. Spoilers, it probably does. Oh, of course, but he's still locked into Outrage, which is good, but he's probably going to snap out of it. Yeah, of course he snaps out of it in 2 turns. And so I Meteor Mash him. Again, if he has Earthquake, that could be bad. Fun fact about Haxorus. Back in Gen 5, Haxorus, with its Mold Breaker ability... No, you're going for Outrage again, that's very weird. With its Mold Breaker ability, it actually had an unresisted combination of attacks, Fighting and Dragon. With Mold Breaker, that combination of attacks is completely unresisted in Gen 5. Gen 6 added Azumarill, and yeah, Azumarill totally, yeah. Azumarill ruined a lot of previously unresisted combinations of attacks. You know, there was Fire Dragon with Turbo Blaze. That was also ruined by Azumarill, and I think the only combination now that is totally unresisted is Normal Ghost. No, not Normal Ghost, Normal Ghost is the only thing that would possibly resist Ghost Fighting, but thankfully nothing gets stabbed on Ghost Fighting. And yeah, here I was checking Meteor Mash's accuracy because I missed so many times with it. Meteor Mash hit, I may have been into the chance for this fight. Yeah, that's just my luck for you. So, Iron Head, hopefully do a fair... Oh, that's not good. Yeah, if that Meteor Mash hit, it probably would have put this thing in KO range of Iron Head, but as it stands, bye Iron Man. And it will slowly recover with leftovers. Let's see what I've still got left. Okay, Lizard is on 1 HP. Bones is most likely going to get owned by Stone Edge. So, either I attempt to just, like, Toxic it or something, go for some damage with Bone Rush, or what I actually did was sacrifice to heal Lizard, hoping that a special move would finish this thing off. So, let's go into Lizard. Again, hoping that a special move, in this case Stab Psychic, would be enough to finish it off. Not sure I'll be 1-hit KO'd. I mean, unless it's criticals. Okay, good, I survived. Come on, hoping. And yes, to quote a certain game, hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. And I'm gonna get hit by this, and this will probably critical me, won't it? Well, not, but it didn't really matter anyway. So, yeah, Cheren, don't underestimate him. He can be brutal. Now return to your regularly scheduled viewing. And it's daytime all of a sudden. So, let's head on down this path and once again see the Pokemon League. The sun is in the middle of the sky. Perfect time for a showdown at high noon or something like that, whatever high noon is. I have absolutely no idea what high noon is, but it's probably something along those lines. Going in here, of course I need to heal after that fight. But, as you can probably tell by the length of the rest of the video, we're actually not going to take on the Elite Four right now. Now, I could just end this here, but I don't want to spend ages with preparations clogging up the rest of the Elite Four videos. They will be their own videos, but for the rest of this part, we will take care of the rest of our preparations for the Elite Four. Now, since I have so much money that I have no idea what to do with it, I may as well completely max out on revives and full restores. I got so much money, like, there's honestly... I'll get 30 revives. And I realize here that I have even more money than I thought. I thought that was, like, yeah, gonna cost me most of my money, but nope, I have a few extra zeros in my amount. So, I'm gonna go ahead and buy 99 full heals. Just, yeah, so we're probably not gonna need repels for the rest of the game, actually. And let's go ahead and max out on full restores, because why not, really? Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and go for 100 of them. That's going to be way more than enough. Yeah, let's go for 100. The item capacities are a bit different in this game than in other games. Most other games had 999 as the item capacity. Also, I am not going to need Pokeballs again. There is nothing else that I can try to catch. Well, except maybe Dragonite at Dragon Spiral Tower if I wanted, but they appear very, very rarely by fishing. I mean, very rarely. Now I'm going to go ahead and withdraw my other main Pokemon for this. And it's about here that I started to think about my Elite Four team. Whirlwind I might want, because even if she can't get her Dragon Dancers set up, she does have some very good resistances. Sadly, Lazy Shell is out. Poor guy, he never really got to pull off his strategy at all. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have worked anyway. Now, Iron Man, as much as Thunderwave could be really useful in there, I'm not really sure that I want it exactly. But I definitely need to free up 2 spaces because I definitely want Volcarona and Cheren for this. Without these two, I doubt it would be possible for me to get through the Elite Four. To put this in perspective, the regular members of the Elite Four have levels that range from 71 to 75, and the champion goes from 75 to 77, just like Cynthia. Lizard could be interesting. I would very much like to try and pull off Calm Mind Recover, but I doubt I'd really get the chance to, and she's a little bit too slow, so I will probably have to take her out. Bones, on the other hand, while she's not that powerful, Toxic could be hugely useful against some of the things. Well, I've learned from Marilyn's Pokemon Black Wedlock that Toxic can be very useful against the Elite Four in a challenge. Very, very useful. As long as you don't hit the Pokemon Marshall has that have Guts. But apart from that, Toxic is very useful against most of the things he's got. I probably want Bronzong here, just because Light Screen Reflect could be a very interesting combination. Now, what I would really want, in an ideal world, I would like to have Reflect Light Screen with Light Clay and Explosion. I know it feels cruel just to sacrifice Bronzong like that, but doing it like that, it would give me more turns to make use of the Dual Screams and the Trick Room. And it would give Bronzong a chance to get some extra damage off, and because of that, I'm going to go ahead and fly now to... Now, here's the thing, I flew to Mistral City just on the hope that maybe Bronzong got Explosion via level up and I could reteach it by Heart Scale. As you're about to see here... Thankfully, I had Heart Scales. Sunny Day and Rain Dance, that's interesting. I believe those are references to what Bronzong's based off, and that it sort of brings favourable weather for harvest, I think. But, yeah, that was a total washout. Absolutely nothing really there. So, no Explosion. Which means there is one way I could teach Bronzong Explosion. But unfortunately, it's something that, technically speaking, I could do. I just kind of don't want to. It's probably not really all that worth it, honestly. But it does give me an excuse to show off one thing that I haven't had a chance to show before. Here in the Battle Subway, you'll notice there's someone with an Ace Trainer sprite who wasn't here before. This guy will only appear after you've beaten the game. You can call him the Judge. Wait, is he seriously that guy from Ace Attorney? No, wait a minute. Anyway, yeah, that's not his real name, but he has this weird power. This guy is pretty much not that useful to you if you're just doing a casual playthrough. But if you breed for IVs like I do, this guy can check your IVs. Oh, decent all around, as flattering as that sounds. I mean, as comparatively not bad as that sounds, that's actually the worst possible thing he can say. So that's really not that good. Now, you're unlikely to get very good IVs out of random wild Pokemon. So let's go ahead and check Ignis. This is just out of curiosity, I just want to see this. Oh, decent all-round is... not again. Yeah, that's not that great. Special attack being its best stat, though, that's actually still very good. So, yeah, that's actually pretty nice. Let's go ahead and check some of my others. Whirlwinds, let's see. Oh, can I seriously get one that's not decent all-around, please? Attack stat, that's alright, but... Oh, good lord. Now, if that is to be believed, Whirlwind's IVs are absolutely abysmal. I think that's one of the worst things he can possibly say. I'm going to go ahead and check. Yeah, relatively superior is actually pretty amazing by wild Pokemon standards. In fact, by the standards of this generation at all. Oh, now this is actually kind of interesting. This also shows off how a new feature in Gen 5, if one of your Pokemon has 2 IVs that are equally the best, he'll actually say both of them. This again, like I said, is a new feature in Gen 5. In Gen 4, if you talk to this guy and... Oh, not again, decent all-round, really. To be honest, you can't really expect more from wild Pokemon. Special attack, that's its lower nature thing. Fantastic actually means, I think, 26 to 30, which is actually very good. And if they're still decent all-round with even that, it means their other IVs must be really low. Okay, above average is at least better than decent all-round. Special defense, okay. Okay, again, fantastic, I believe that is 26 to 30. But, like I was saying, if we check here, we can see the items that we can get from the Battle Subway. Now, all of these are very useful items, and some of these could be really useful to me going into the Pokemon League, but I just honestly, 48 BP would just be way too much to grind up for, and especially in a challenge like this, where I'm unable to EV train my Pokemon. I mean, IVs aren't really an issue. You can quite easily win this without good IVs or even good natures, but you definitely do need to EV train, and yeah. And as you can see there, Explosion requires 48. Even with the Subway Masters giving a huge amount of BP, it's still going to take at least 2 passes of the Subway Masters, and I really don't feel like doing that, so... yeah, that's kind of bad. But, like I was saying before, my reasons for being in Icarus City will become clear soon enough. But in Gen 4, if a Pokemon had 2 IVs that were equal, the judge would randomly tell you one of them. That was the same in Gen 3 as well. So you kind of had to keep talking to them repeatedly in order to find out whether they had more than one best stat. Now you might also wonder why I have Eggogi as first in the party. That will also become clear soon enough. But yeah, this is so much more useful though to people who breed for IVs because you're usually looking for Pokemon that do have more than one 31 IV. And now they will tell you if they have multiples 31s, which is very, very useful. Druddigon is not of use to me though. So, why am I here and why do I suddenly have Eggogi again? You might have noticed there was one item in that list of Battle Subway items that we actually couldn't get there. That item is Light Clay. Now, I was wondering to myself why. I had no idea. I thought that you'd be able to buy the Light Clay from there, and that would be a very useful item for my Bronzong to have for the Elite Four. Now, I went ahead and looked up where you can find Light Clay in Black and White. Turns out, guess what? There is only one way to get a Light Clay in the original Black and White, and that is 5% chance off of Wild Gollets. Now, fortunately, on the second floor of Dragon Spiral Tower, Golett is the only thing that appears, as you can see here. But still, 5% chance? That's really, really annoying. But there is one way I can swing the odds in my favour. Well, not necessarily the odds, just make it a little bit easier. Normally, I would just spam Thief against Gollets until I finally got one. This time, though, I have Eggogi. Eggogi has the Frisk ability, which reveals to you if the opponent has an item. If they don't have an item, it won't say anything. What this means is, I don't have to use Thief until I see the notification of Frisk activating. If I don't see a Frisk notification pop up, I can safely run. This way, I only use Thief on something where it really matters. So, enough of this, let's cut to something where I do get the activation of Frisk. Okay, surely this one will have it. And there we go. See how easy it is? That is a very obvious indication that they have an item. So I'm going to go for Thief. Now, because of Gothitel's not-so-good attack, Thief is not going to one-shot this thing. Unfortunately, in my complete idiocy, I forgot to remove Eggogi's item. Derp! Thankfully, it actually didn't take very long for another one to show up, so... yeah, but as you can see, Frisk really helps when you're going for using Thief on items. In Gen 6, a very good Pokemon to use for this is Noivern, because, yeah, it's got the Frisk ability, it's very fast, and it can learn Thief. So, let's go ahead and use this. Now, the cool thing about this generation compared to Gen 6 is, Thief will actually show you if it steals an item in its animation. In Gen 6, there's actually no special animation for stealing an item with Thief, which is kind of annoying. So now, for real this time, entering the Elite Four. Really, all there's time to do now is to get my team ready for the final showdown. And, yeah, something kind of, stupid that I said in an earlier part. Remember how I said back before I fought Cynthia that I didn't really have many good items that I could use? I was wrong. Turns out, derp, most of my good items were on the team that I used to get through the Elite Four the first time. Rocky Helmet, Expert Belt, yep, they were all on my original team. So let's just go ahead and bag all of these. Might need the black glasses. I definitely want that Expert Belt though, that's going to be very useful. And that Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet, also useful. Might want that Scope Lens. I've already got Razor Fang, which is essentially the same item. Probably don't need the Big Root. I mean, almost certainly don't need the Big Root. Obviously don't need the Smoke Ball. Just checking all the other items. Magnet, don't need that. Soft Sand, don't really need that. Aspear Berry, nope. And all these, I'm guessing, are just random berries. Yeah, berry, and hardstone. Okay, that must have just been a random item that was attached to him. But... okay, now let's switch the team around a bit. Yeah, as much as B-Barrel could be hilarious, I probably want to go with Whirlwind, and I'm going to need to put Air Gogging back. Yeah, I've already taken the Light Clay off of her. So, Dragon Fang I think I can keep on Whirlwind. Leftovers, definitely want that on Mandibuzz. Definitely want Leftovers. Right there. Yeah, I was deciding who to give the Leftovers to, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be best on Mandibuzz. Now, Metagross, not so sure, but you, I definitely know what I want on you. Definitely want that Light Clay, so where is it? Now, I'm used to new items going at the bottom of the list, like they did in Gen 6, but now new items go to the top of the list, so... confusing that, but there's the Light Clay, there. Now, Shell Bell's generally inferior to Leftovers. Razor Claw, I'm pretty sure is, yeah. And Helldimes, I'm going to take this Silver Powder, because why boost the power of Bug moves by 20% when I could boost the power of Bug and Fire moves by 20% when they're super effective? And I'm mainly only going to be using them when they're super effective, so Expert Belt's going to be very helpful to Volcarona, I'd say. And as for Metagross, I'm going to go for the Rocky Helmet. It's got a lot of resistances, and that could really help. Cheren, I don't really have that many decent items for you. I mean, I was tossing up whether the Expert Belt would be useful. It kind of depends on the opponent, but I think more Pokemon are weak to Fire and Bug than they are weak to Ice and Dragon. In the Elite Four, at least. So, all in all, I decided the Expert Belt was best used on Volcarona. Leftovers, definitely going to give that to you. I was wondering whether Leftovers would be good with Substitute on Whirlwind, but I kind of like the Dragon Fang because, well, her only attacking move is Dragon Claw, so I might as well power it up. And so, here we are. One final challenge for this no experience playthrough. We have to beat the Elite Four and the champion. For real this time. If we defeat all the Elite Four, we can challenge the champion. Again, for real this time. But once we enter, there is no turning back. Next time, it begins.